Well, good day to you. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and just got back from meeting with my church family. I'm glad to be with you now. I'm glad you're here. My name is Jim. This is the Jim of All Trades channel. It's been kind of a busy weekend for me. I had a wedding this weekend, and had a lot going on, and so wasn't able to take my take my computer with me and focus in on trading so much. If that's the case, I try to update things via our Litecoin swing trading community. So I want to remind you that if you're not a part of that community, you should be. You should join. It's right here. Just go to Litecoin swing trading community on Facebook. Uh, Click you can add yourself there, and then we'll get a notification. We reject everybody who does not answer the three questions that are there, so please answer all three questions. We That keeps pretty much a lot of the spam members out, and so we don't have a lot of advertisers. And as soon as anybody slips through the cracks in the first advertisement they post, they get rejected. So we block them immediately. There's no questions asked. There's no warnings. Nothing. They're just gone. And so we have a really tight community of awesome people who are learning how to trade, and want to invite you in on that. And this is an area I do a lot of extras. If I can't update via video, I'll put posts out here. So this is where you'll want to be if you haven't been able to join yet. Okay. Don't forget the Jim of All Trades channel. Go ahead and hit subscribe. I've got so many different videos. If you just scroll back, each of them have a teaching lesson. You should go back to the earlier ones. I did a lot more teaching on the front end, and you can how to really use the RSI. That's a powerful lesson there. You can kind of just go back through and see if you can. So you can find any lessons. This is how to use fib extensions. That's important. I revealed my trading strategy here, at least my 2-hour trading strategy, and that's a good strategy as well. So anyway, just all kinds of different things you can learn. Secret to trading triangles. There's a triangle trade that comes up all the time in Litecoin in particular. So I want to encourage you to kind of go back through the old videos as well and see what you can find of value as you learn to trade in on this channel. All right, so don't forget to like and subscribe everything, and subscribe to everything that YouTube likes. That'll help the channel to grow. Okay, so where are we in the count? Well, I think we're still. Let me just give you the macro count really quick here. So the big count here is we got 1, 2. This is Litecoin 3, 4, and we're coming up to make the fifth wave right here. This is the fifth wave here, and so we need to zoom in on that wave, see if we can see a sub count there. I've already got it kind of marked with the red circles there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this whole thing is the fifth wave. It's kind of a protracted big fifth wave potentially. There is a chance that the fifth wave is complete right here. And we're heading on our way down, though I don't think that's the case. I think we have one more push to go up to the upside, somewhere around the 127 to 130 mark, potentially anywhere from 124 to 130 in that ballpark. So let me explain why I think that. Here we've got a nice little ABC down to the downside, and then we've been followed by a move to the upside. And so let's count and see what that's looking like. There, let me go to the 30-minute chart and just kind of so we have 1, 2, 3. This was an ABC to the 4 downside. Didn't cross the 1, so that was a nice trade. We got in on that. Didn't Hasn't finished yet though. I think it's still got one more upside to go. You can see that we've got a clear one wave followed by a 2, 3. This whole thing is 4, and we've got one more push up to make the fifth. So I think basically what has transpired here is we have just basically a simple ABC, uh, except it's not quite so simple. It's kind of a complex ABC there, but it is an A. This was B, and this was C, basically. Okay, let's see if that is supported by the Fibonacci's. Um, just had this weird feeling I wasn't recording, so let's just see if the fibs support that as well. They do, by the way. I'm showing you A. This is B there, and the extension came down to the 1. I was telling a friend of mine last night we're probably going to have a push down to 112 or so. Um, and there's the support. There's the structure that we hit as well as the fib support there. So it looks like the ABC. And it looks like it's close to finished if it's not finished already. We may have one more push to the downside, but basically, let's see what trade is setting up for us. If that's the case, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heading up to the upside from here. So right now, anytime now, between now and I think you're dealing with a good entry. I like to nail my entries a little bit better. I don't like to, if I miss this bottom, and I was with my church family, I was preaching the gospel today with my people, and so I wasn't able to get in on that move, and so I missed it. When I was able to check my phone, we were already up here. I don't jump in, so I'm going to wait for a pullback before we move in. Let me just kind of show you the pattern of Litecoin, just so you don't get FOMO too much, okay? But I want you to notice what this looks like. You got this down movement with a wick to the upside, right? I want you to notice the pattern that Litecoin makes. Here's what it does. It'll make down, it'll make a wick to the upside. It'll come up kind of hard, and then it'll work its way back down and make a double bottom, go further, or sometimes it goes shorter, and then it'll bounce again. And so that's kind of what Litecoin does. You see this wick to the bottom here. It came up, and then it came back and retested it again. So that's kind of a common pattern. And then it went on up, right? Um, shoot, and if you missed that, it had another pullback. Okay, so there's all see so there's a pullback, there's a pullback, there's all kinds of pullbacks. So you don't have to worry if you missed. Okay, but let me just show you this one here. We had a wick to the downside. It came up kind of hard, and then it had a push to the down, back again. And so right here, you never know exactly how far down it's going to come, but you can see that that's a consistent pattern that it will make. Okay. Um, See if I can show you any more of them. They're all over the place. Okay. Wick to the downside, up, retested, and then it went up. You see that? Let's see, any other places? Wick to the downside, rebound, came back and retested and went up. Of course, it kept going down, but still, you can see this pattern. So whenever you see that wick to the downside, you can expect a retest and then a bounce. Okay? So here you have it came wick to the downside, came up, it retested, then it went up again. So that when it retests, that's your trade that you can enter in. You could have made if you traded that little guy, that was from 88 to 90, 92, 93. So I mean that's $5 trade right there. So I mean these aren't little dinky things here. You got a wick to the downside, it bounced up, it retested. Okay. And then it goes up, and so that's a nice trade there as well. So there's a lot of trades here. So whenever you see that pattern here that we have where it wicks to the downside, expect a retest of it. Okay, don't expect it just to shoot up, right away. There's gonna be a retest of some sort. So let me see if I can get back to where we are. So yeah, so we've had the wick to the downside. It's come back up. I'm expecting it to work its way back down, and that's where I'm going to look for entry. We have good structure support here. We always want to make sure it doesn't make a new low on us. And so sometimes it will make a new low on us. We just want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So I'm going to mark my structure lines here. Here's an area of support right there. It's going to become resistance later. Um, Here is an area right there as well. And so we've got support um, that'll become support again, or resistance as it tries to come down. We should see a bounce there. Um, so okay, yeah, that's what we're looking for. So the trade I'm looking for basically is I'm looking for this to top out a little bit. I don't expect it just to shoot straight up. I should see a bit of a pullback before we head up, and on that pullback, that's where I'm going to look for entry. And then my guess is that we're going to go up for that fifth wave, okay? And that pullback will most likely be the two wave, okay? So after that one and two is formed, we'll be able to project the three and go up from there, okay? All right, so that's the trade I'm looking for. So what are we looking for as far as price targets for that trade? Um, well, now assuming that I'm correct in this, let's just throw the fibs on this guy. Um, so we're gonna start down here from the uh, bottom of one to the top of three to the bottom of four. my 127 target is still intact, and it's looking perfect to hit 127. So 127 is my initial target. Okay. Um, then 127, you can look in previous videos where I got that, but 127 is still in play, and that's what I'm eyeballing here. So we got a good entry anywhere from now up down to a pullback. I'm hoping for that pullback, and then then we'll get our entry to the upside. Okay. All right, that's what we're looking for Litecoin. I hope that helps you. Same kind of thing with Bitcoin. Let me just kind of show you the pullback there as well. You get the same pattern. We got a nice ABC to the downside. It started making its way up. We got the pullback. It started making its way up again. We got another pullback, but it's wicking off, and it looks like we're going to get a move to the upside as well. The shape is a little different, but you have a lot of these little double M's in Bitcoin where they'll just make these M's and then keep moving up, and so you see these little M shapes, and it continues to move up, and so you always got to pay attention to patterns in the market, especially when Bitcoin is and Litecoin are. They both make patterns and repetitious patterns, and you can know what each market is doing by those patterns. Always remember that any of these scenarios are just targets. You should watch price action as we come to those places, and remember there are targets to the upside and to the downside always, and so these are things to be watching out for and looking for to be invalidated. Is there anything to the downside that is potential? I guess if we had a downside potential, the 5 could be complete right here. This was an ABC followed by another ABC, which doesn't look proportional, but it is what it is. And this is a one wave, and we're in the process of making a 3 wave. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'd be coming down for the third wave. Does that look right to me? No, it doesn't look right to me at all. This wave ought to be a lot more powerful than it is. If this is the third wave to the downside, it ought to be a lot more powerful, more like this, more like this. These are powerful moves. This is kind of a weakish move. So I don't think that's intact. But how do we know if this trade is invalidated? Well, basically, I would say our trade to the upside is invalidated if price comes and breaks this yellow line of death here, which is 106.04. So if price breaks that and closes on a 1 hour to the 4 hour chart beyond this 106.04, then we are moving to the downside, and that's how we can know it. Okay. Um, yeah, right now on Litecoin, we're waiting for a pullback, and then we'll enter. I'll try to signal that pullback on Facebook as well if I can, if I'm able to see it, because I'm going to be looking for my entry. So I'll signal it there. All right. I hope this helps you in the trade. Glad to be back with you, and I hope that's helpful to you. Leave some comments there. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, or don't forget to like and hit the notification bell and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, you guys have a fantastic Sunday. We will see you tomorrow morning with an update, and we'll see what the market's doing. All right, talk to you later.